Hey everybody. So if you're into DIY subwoofers, one of the things that you have to deal with invariably is amplification. And this is kind of a tough nut to crack if you want to get enough power, but have it work in your room. Anyway, lots of issues. But one of the biggest issues that comes up is when people step up from kind of the entry level Behringer to some of the big boy amps. And I'm talking specifically the Sinbosen FP series, so the FP14000s, the FP10000Qs, that kind of stuff. Those amps put out a lot of power, but they have extremely loud fans. And one of the things that people do is swap these fans out for quieter ones because these amps are often in their room, and with the loud fans, it's just too distracting. Well, the first question everybody has is, how do I do this? So today in this video, we're going to step through the process of swapping out fans. And this is I believe this is a FP14000 from Sinbosen. It's the same thing for the 10000Q and any of the smaller tier amplifiers in that lineup. Now, if you go to the bigger ones, the 20000s, 22000s, 24000s, those all have a set of jet fans on the back, and just give it up. You're not going to make those quiet. But for the ones up to the 14000 and the 10000Q, they only have 4 fans on the inside, and they're not that hard to swap. So let's go ahead and jump into that now, and I'll step you through that process and give you some additional details as we take a look at that. To get started, we need to level set. So to see results, we have to understand where we're starting at. So this is where we're starting at. So this is fresh out of the box, no modification. In my kitchen / breakfast nook, hit the power, and you can see that with a decibel meter pretty close, we're in between 65 and 70 decibels. It jumps around 65, 69, 70, 66, 65. So that's kind of where we're starting at. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and start the surgery. As we get the top off of this unit, let's talk a little bit about the fans. So these are not computer fans. These are not the same kind of fans that you put into a Behringer when you do a Behringer fan swap. These are 12 volt DC fans in the 60 millimeter and 80 millimeter size. So there's two 60 millimeter and two 80 millimeter fans. Now the fans, the products that you can use to replace the stock fans with change time to time. So I'll try and keep that updated down in the notes below. So you can just check down there if you want to see which ones to buy. And I'll have links to the ones that were used in this particular swap down below as well. Now, what you're seeing on the screen is taking the top off the unit. And to swap these fans out, we have to access both the top and the bottom. But we don't do it at the same time because when you take the top tray and the bottom tray off of this amplifier simultaneously, things can get a little loose. So we'll take the top off, do some work, put the top back on, flip it over, take the bottom off, do some more work, then put the bottom back on permanently, flip it back over, take the top off, do the final work, and put the top on the final time, and then we're done. Okay, so that's a nice close-up shot of the 4 fans, and you can see how each of the fans are attached with 2 screws. And that's it. There are no screws on the bottom, just 2 screws per fan attached into that metal bar that goes from side to side through kind of the center line of the amplifier. What we're going to do first is deal with the small fans because we're able to access those fully from the top. So we'll unscrew those and pull those out. So we take the 2 screws out, and then there's just enough space to pull them out, and there should be enough slack in the wire to deal with them. Now what we're going to do at that point is snip the wires and then connect the new fans to those 2 wires. Now there's a lot of different ways you can do this, but I use what are really telephone connectors. So they're little auto crimp telephone connectors, and you just take the 2 positive and the 2 negative wires for each amp, and you'll shove the 2 positives into one of the crimpers and use your pliers to crimp it closed, and then shove the 2 negatives or the 2 coils into another one, and you crimp it closed, and you're done. And you just need to do that twice. One, 4 crimp connectors in total, and you can use whatever you want to, but those are just easy for me, and they're all weather. So if this thing ever gets rained on, that connection gotta be solid. Can't speak for the rest of the amp, but that'll be good. So that's what you're gonna do in this step. You get those 2 fans replaced, crimped cables, and you can put those back in. And if you want to, you can even go ahead and put those screws back in, and those 2 fans are done. After that, you will then remove the 4 screws for the larger fans to get those nice and ready to go. Then at that point, we need to flip the unit over and access things from the bottom, because there's just no way to get to those fans from the top. So what you'll do is put the top back on, and I simply put the top back on and then connect or put the screw back in, the center top screw, and that gives the amplifier enough rigidity where I can flip it over and get to the bottom without any issues. Once you get the bottom off, you're basically going to do to the large fans what you did to the top fans from the top side. So you'll just pull these up, snip the existing cables, and then connect red to red and black to black for each fan. Again, I used the telco connectors, and it made it really, really straightforward and easy. I'm curious what everybody else is going to use to do this connection with. You could get some other kind of connector and then some heat shrink and do all kinds of stuff and go crazy with it if you want to. I don't really think any of that is necessary. I think any kind of standard splice connector is going to be exactly what you would need to get this done. But once you get these spliced in, all you'll do is shove them back into the holes, tuck the cables away, and then put the bottom on. And at this point, you can go ahead and connect all the or reapply all of the case screws for that bottom exterior panel, because you don't need to get back into the bottom anymore. So once you've got that done, go ahead, put all the screws back in and flip it back over, and it's time to get access to the top for the final piece of this. Once you get it flipped over and the top off, there are really only 2 things you need to do. One, you need to attach the last 4 screws. So get those 4 screws in for the 80mm fans. And at that point, every fan should be spliced in and have 2 screws connecting it just as it was at the beginning. Now, at this point, if you're super brave and bold, you could just put the top on and be done. What I would recommend though, and this is what I do, is with the top off, plug this thing into power, turn it on, and make sure all of the 4 fans spin up and operate. If you didn't get those splice connections just right and one of the fans doesn't work, that could be a problem. And really the only way to tell is to eyeball it with the top off and the power on. So this is the right time to do it. What you don't want to do is have something odd happen, and then you have to go back and open it back up and try and figure things out. It just wastes a lot of time. So while you've got it open, go ahead, check and make sure all 4 fans spin up when you hit the power button. And once you've got the green light on that, go ahead and put the top back on, and then you're ready for the final test, right? And this is kind of the before and after. So we're going to go ahead and look at that now. So if you remember back at the beginning of the video, we were looking at the original fans. Those were anywhere up to 70-ish decibels, like pretty loud. Well, after the new fans are installed, you can see we're you know, 55, 56, 57. So that's anywhere from, you know, 12 to 15 decibels of reduction just by changing out the fans. And that is significant. It really changes the amplifier from a device that you can't use in the room that you sit in to one that's pretty quiet. And if you put it in a cabinet, you don't even really hear it. So great results with a little bit of time investment, a little bit of money that really turns this amplifier into a winner. If you're interested in picking one of these up, let me know. You can find us in the GSG group as well. We do a lot of orders through that on Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's helpful. If you've liked it, please like and subscribe, hit the bell, do all that kind of stuff, share with your friends, post it up on all the home theater group Facebook pages. And I'll see you guys in the next video.